Hello and welcome to On the Kerbs. I'm your host, Team Albers Daily. Joining me this week is Formula 3 driver Enzo Trulli. He and I caught up recently to chat about how the 2022 season has gone for him, why the shorter season format adopted by other single-seater racing campaigns suit him better, which drivers he'd choose to form band with, and much more. So, without any further ado, let's just get straight into it. I hope you enjoy our conversation.
So, hi Enzo, thanks for being here today. First of all, how are you?
Good. Hi. Good. All good. You?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So, first question I like to ask everyone I talk to on here, what first got you interested in motorsport?
So my dad obviously he was a racing driver, so for sure the passion come from him. But I remember I started karting when I was, let's say, the first time I saw a karting. I went to a karting was with the rental kart, and it was at 9 years old, so I started quite late. But I just love it from the beginning. My dad never forced me to do this. I wanted to start on my own. I think, and I just fell in love immediately.
Did you find him to be a large influence in you deciding to do it then, or was it something you looked at and thought about? Because you say you came to it late, but still 9 years old, it's still pretty young.
Yeah, let's say that he never forced me, but I always had the interest in it. I was always playing with little cars or motor, or always like this. My mom was always telling me that I was doing the sound of F1 really good, so I always had that passion. Then when I discovered go-kart, I just wanted to start.
Yeah, and it's been quite a journey so far. I mean, I was looking at your career so far. I mean, it's a lot packed into a small amount of time, really, when you think about it. You
Yeah.
competed in the Euro Formula Open last year before winning the United Arab Emirates Championship. Busy year for 2021 for starters, but what was the key to putting that second championship together and for you to win that then?
So we started quite late to go in single seater because I had an accident in bicycle and I broke my clavicle, so I had to stay to stop for 2 months and a half. And once we start with the single seater, we had the opportunity to test quite not a lot, but we went to the UAE with 12 days of testing. It's not a lot because people there I think they've tested like more than 20 days, 30 days. So, we arrived there. The goal was to do experience, to learn as much as we could. And, winning on the first race was just incredible. Then we just keep improving, keep working. I improved a lot. I think the best thing that was 5 weeks in a row. So you can always, you do 1 week, you do some mistakes, and then you go back the next week and try to improve. And finished that championship. We went back to Europe. I think we did 1 week of rest, and we decided to try Euro Formula because F4 already, is a category where you need to start, but you don't need to stay there too much because it's completely different for other categories. So we decided to try the Euro Formula, and we saw immediately that was really good. The potential was there. So we tested a bit. Also there, the preparation wasn't so much because we're all late. Let's say we just started testing a month before the first race. So we did, I think, 6 days of testing. It's not so much, but
Seems to work out for you though. Not much testing. You thrive on that pressure, maybe.
Yeah, just go in the mix, learn as much as you can. I think it was really good. We did immediately a podium in the first race in Portimao. Then we had some difficult rounds, but I think it was really difficult because it's difficult to adapt going from a car to another in just a small amount of time. So I tried. I've worked really hard, especially on the simulator. It's the only thing that you have. If you're not testing, it's the only thing that you have to keep working, even if it's not. Unfortunately, it's not the same.
You said with the United Arab Championship in particular, you'd say 5 weeks back to back as the racing there. Is that something where you quite enjoy that? It's the constant nature of it, because with other championships, you maybe have, I mean, I'm thinking Formula 3, you can have really long breaks between races there. Or is it that kind of thing you're saying about testing? You didn't get as much as you want, but you just have to really go for it and just, you can't really overthink anything. You just have to really just keep going for it and hope and keep improving that things will get better.
Yeah, that's right. I think 5 weeks in a row was perfect because you had a lot of time on the car. You had I think just 3 days of resting, which was really good. You do a race, the next day you relax, then the next day you back to the gym, you're working, looking on the data, on the video. And the great thing that I had my dad there, so every time I finished the race, that night, the same night, we were looking already on all the races from the first lap to the last lap to see all the mistakes. And the next week, go back and try to improve. And I think the best thing really that a driver can have, because when you do a race, then you wait 2 months, you just lose everything if you don't drive. It's like starting again from zero. So then a lot of people maybe test, but probably financially is never easy.
It's not always opportunity for that, then to rather just go
Yes.
for it.
So like this year, I've been 2 months stop from a race to another, and you start completely from zero again.
I was going to say then, because you made the jump into Formula 3 this year, would you say that this gap between races has been the biggest challenge for you this year, or would there be something else that's kind of been more difficult for you to overcome? Because that's Formula 3 can sometimes be seen as like, oh, it's not so bad, but can be quite challenging to get into that.
Yes, I think that the plan wasn't to do this. The plan was to do another year of Euro Formula 1, but then Carlin called it us, and they just tried they just give it to us this opportunity, and we couldn't say no. To race in this championship. So the preparation also here was, I did 6 days of test, not a lot. Then we went to Bahrain. I did one day because I immediately on the first day the engine blew up.
Yeah.
So we just stayed 1 day and a half stop to rebuild the car and everything. I think we were quite unlucky at the beginning because I already had no experience, and just starting go there with no experience. I also don't drive 3 days. Really important. That was, I think, a problem that then you went all the season. Because for me, with that 3 days of testing, everything could change.
Yeah.
Because you arrive there, no experience, nothing. You go. First run was already good. I was competitive, and then immediately stop for 2 days. Come back, and the other one they already did 2 days complete of testing. So then the first half of the day was just to rebuild, to see if the car was all okay. Yeah, so I think there we lost just a lot of time.
And so it's about keeping that momentum going and keeping going forward, because even if it's not going your way in terms of results, at least you can keep just going back out and analyzing and doing stuff, and at least you can try these new things quicker then, rather than having to wait for these different things.
Yeah, I believe that constancy is one of the most important things that you need to have in life or in sport. And when you have like 2 months stop, then maybe one race, then again 2 weeks, then 2 weeks in a row, I think is not the best for the driver. But it's like easy for everyone. So you, for sure, to arrive at that, to stop 1 month, 2 months, go back, you need to have that experience. You need to have that knowledge with the car. You need to have that feeling with the car, because after maybe 2 laps, you'll be there. Like at the end of the season, it was much better. I just 2 laps and I was already there with the feeling. But at the beginning, I was struggling really a lot.
How would you describe your rookie season of Formula 3 then? Because like you're saying that those last 3 races, they were all back to back. So that was probably quite good for you in terms of what you like about it as well. But then the rest of it, you're saying on and off. So how would you rate your first year?
Yeah, I think the beginning was really hard because I didn't have a lot of knowledge with the car. I was struggling to adapt of the driving style, because it was really different compared to Euro Formula. It's a completely different type of driving. So at the beginning, I was struggling a lot. Then through the end, we did Silverstone and Red Bull Ring. Silverstone was really hard. Silverstone is one of the most difficult circuit because it's really high speed. If you have that feeling with the car, is really difficult. But then we went immediately next week to Red Bull Ring, and the feeling was there. But this we've been unlucky. Qualifying was good, but then on the first race we just had a puncture immediately. So
what do you think was the reason for having that feeling back in the car? You were saying how Silverstone was difficult because of the nature of the track. What was it about Austria that clicked for you?
Like Silverstone was new for me, while Austria already raced there last year.
Okay,
so I know
so it's just the familiarity of it then.
Yeah, that and more about the car because you don't know your rival circuit was really, really fast because you go 200 more kilometers per hour around the corner. So if you don't have that feeling to push under the limit, it's not always easy at the beginning. But and while Red Bull Ring, there's not so many fast corners. There are 3 fast corners, but I already knew the circuit. I already knew how the car maybe could work, and it was okay. So on Red Bull Ring, the feeling was good.
Do you think then that that's going to help you next season? Then, we don't have a confirmed calendar for it, but if it seems more or less the same to what we've had this year, do you think that we will at the very least have improved results on each of the tracks that were new to you this year because you've been there, you've done that, and you know what to expect now?
Yeah, for sure. When you do 2 seasons in the same category, I don't know my plan for next year. I still don't know because
fingers crossed anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Like financially is what it is. So if there is an opportunity, for sure I will do it. But for now, I don't know really what I'm going to do. But you do 2 years in the same category, for sure the second year you will have with more knowledge with the car, more good feeling. You will know the track better. You will know how the system works. So it's a bit easier.
No, definitely. And what was it like then having Zach O'Sullivan and Brad Benavides as your teammates? Did you hang out outside of the track, or was it all purely business and you only kind of ever saw each other on a race weekend?
No, let's say we were working really good together, honestly, especially through the end of the season because I knew Brad from last year, but Zach was new for me. But the feeling was okay. We worked together. We were talking about the car, how it works, But no, I wasn't hanging around with them because through the year I have school, I have a lot of things, so it's not always easy. But no, on track we were all together, always in the truck together. So the feeling was good, and I've learned a lot, especially from Zach that has a lot of experience compared to me. So I've learned really a lot from him, and I'm really happy about it.
So I always find it interesting in Formula 2 and Formula 3 when you've got, especially in Formula 3, 3 cars in a team, 3 drivers, and you're all looking to progress up until the next formula. And how much of that means that you work together, and how much does it mean that you can still compete against each other because you all want to beat each other at the end of the day? But I guess it sounds like there was a healthy balance there for you 3.
Oh yeah, for sure. The goal for sure is always to beat your teammate. But if you have a faster teammate, you need to learn what he's doing better than you and why he's doing better than you. So for me, this year was the first time that I had a teammate faster than me.
How was that feeling for you?
Yeah, no, it wasn't so great. It was really frustrating. But I did everything possible to try to improve myself. First, I was looking myself, and then him. For sure, I was always thinking what he's doing, why he's doing this. But like I said, when you stop 2 months, you start again from zero in another track. So, and the time that you spend on track on the weekends is not so much. You do practice, qualifying, and then races. And while practice, you're always the first to go in. So the track is what it is. So it's not always so, let's say, easy to understand. But I think I've learned a lot. I've learned what I was doing wrong. I'm still studying, let's say, the data to see what I could have done better. for maybe if I have another opportunity next year to give it all and to be, this year we've been, I think, really, really unlucky. Something else always happen during the weekend, but sometimes it's like this.
Yes, that's motor racing. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, we've got to take it on the chin a little bit. But not to be too damn and depressing on you there. We'll try to steer away from that slightly. You say this year on the F3 calendar, there's a mix of tracks, new tracks, and tracks that you've raced at before. Which one was your favorite to go racing at?
For me, it was the first time in Hungaroring, but I really enjoyed a lot the track. I really loved the track for how the nature is, how the corners are. I don't know, it was the first time, on the really, really first time. So I really enjoyed that. Even like the last race that was wet and dry, when we went to dry, it was really, really fun to drive.
So it's very entertaining to watch. That race is probably my favorite one of the season.
Yeah,
seeing all the different strategies there.
That race was incredible. And yeah, for sure, I really enjoyed Hungaroring. Silverstone also, is a great track. Imola, I like Imola. I think Imola is really good to test, but to race is not the optimal, let's say, because the overtake is really difficult to overtake. So, but to test is a really nice track. Yeah, I enjoyed everything, but I think these three is the more.
I'll say, because you're also racing on the same weekend as Formula One this year, and that looks set to continue. If you do get to be in F3 again next year, which tracks on the F1 calendar would you like to go to that you haven't been to yet?
To go with the F1?
Yeah, because if you're racing on the same weekend as them, so
yeah.
Like, so for example, you get to go to Melbourne next year. That'll be exciting for F3 there. So it'd be great to see you there. But if you could choose somewhere else, where would you want to go?
Yeah, for sure. We just had 9 weekends with them, but I think one of the secret that we really want to go is Suzuka.
Yeah,
in Japan.
F3 there would be wicked.
Yeah, Singapore also. Singapore is really nice. There is a lot of track, honestly. It's difficult to choose, but I think these two. I'm really
so it's two good choices there, to be fair.
Yeah. There is a lot of track. Too many to remember, but these two maybe.
So obviously, you're saying that F3 would be the dream again next year. Aside from that, and not just next year, but generally, what are your ambitions for future of your motorsport career?
For sure, my goal, my dream is to be a Formula One driver, but you never know what can happen. And my goal is to be a professional racing driver. I want to do this with my life. I'm working as much as I can to achieve it, even if sometimes it's not easy. This year nothing went on my side. I think I also, it's just my second year, but when I do something, I always want to win it, to be the best. So when it's not going good, it's frustrating. It's more frustrating because I've worked really hard out of the track, and not seeing the result that I wanted is, it's not, it doesn't make me so happy. On the other side, I'm happy because I had the opportunity to race in this championship with this car, with all the great drivers. So there is two sides of it. You need, I look on one side, but I look also on the other side.
Does it make you more determined then for when you get that next opportunity to? I mean, I don't want to say make yourself work even harder, because it seems like you are doing everything you possibly can, but get that extra determination to really make the most of it.
Yeah, for sure. If I had an opportunity, for sure, I will give absolutely everything to achieve it, because maybe it could be my last, maybe you never know, but that's why you never know. So you need to give everything that you have when you have an opportunity like this.
Definitely. So following on from that, then, you mentioned your dad earlier. Maybe this is the answer to this question. Maybe it's someone completely different, but do you have any racing heroes?
Yes, racing, for sure. My dad, I've been always watching him, but I really like Senna mentality. Senna driving, a lot of things about Senna. There is also Lewis, for where he come, what he did. these two, I think I really look up to these two drivers, especially.
No, it's just, yeah, I can see why. Especially, I like the through line there because Lewis always talks about Senna as well. So it's that nice transition there for the three of you.
Yeah, like I don't look at what they did or what they achieved. I look how they achieve it. And also on the other sport, I don't look like if one is successful. I look always how he did it to achieve it, the work that he did it. That's what makes me, to look up to someone.
No, definitely. And then, aside from the single seater racing, are there any other forms of motorsport that you'd love to try in the future?
Yeah, single C, then I think LMP2, the hypercar,
Yeah,
the WEC for sure is
some
a great
beautiful cars in
opportunity.
there.
Yeah, and there is also, maybe I'm really interested in Super Formula, but this, is single seater. But there is professional. You do Super Formula and Super GT, it could be nice. And there is IndyCar, but it's America, and they have another type of style of racing. I think I don't know, but I think
have a go at anything.
Yeah.
Final question, then, a bit of fun one just to finish things off. Only a little bit to do with motorsport. If you had to form a band with three other drivers from the Formula 3 grid from this year, who would you choose?
A band. So honestly, I don't know a lot of people. I don't spend a lot of time talking with other drivers. I spend a lot of time with my teammates for sure. So I don't know a lot of drivers outside my teammates that maybe I can go with. I know Pepe Marti, but not so much, just because we were in the same team in go-kart. So I don't know.
Maybe an all-Carlin band then.
Yeah, for sure. I would say Zach and Brad because they are the only two that I know really good. So
you're going to be singing, or are you on the drums?
Drums. I really like the drums. I didn't have the opportunity to learn, but I really like it.
So we'll keep it on that one. Keep it safe there, I think.
Yeah. Sing is not for me.
We'll get the karaoke machine out. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I want to thank you very much for your time, and I do hope we get to see you in Formula 3 next year again, because it would be really great to see what you could do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks again to Enzo for coming onto the Kerbs with me, and I want to wish him the best of luck again for the rest of 2022 and beyond. Join me again soon when I'll be chatting to another famous face from the world of motorsport. And in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and check out the other interviews on the On the Kerbs YouTube channel. If you want to hear more from me, you can listen to me chat about F1, amongst other things, over on the Undercut podcast, and you can also hear me dissecting everything Nitro RX related, including chatting with some special guests, over on the Nitro RX podcast. Both podcasts are available here on YouTube, as well as over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you like to listen. You can also follow me over on Instagram at t.albers.daily.onthekerbs and read my various motorsport articles over on Is It Fast and Paddock Sorority. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next week for the next episode.